Hello my little gurus, it's Tom from Mazda Gurus and I'm back with another handover video, this time on our 2022 Mazda CX-5. This is actually a video I've been meaning to do for quite a few months now. Very busy in our dealership here at Mazda Gloucester, but finally got around to a bit of time today. Thought I'd upload a video for you all, for all those lucky people who've managed to get their hands on a 2022 CX-5. Not going to spend too much time going into the changes between this one and the previous version, but it is absolutely stunning. This one here that I've picked is a CX-5 Sport Black, finished in our Soul Red Crystal metallic paint. Definitely the best colour to go for with Mazda, but obviously other colours are available. As usual, I'm going to completely wing this. I'm going to try and keep it to no more than half an hour long, but this video is mainly aimed at those people who are new to the Mazda brand, or who have been unable to have a handover video if they've moved, sorry, a handover from their salesperson as they've moved from one Mazda to another. So first of all, starting from the outside, most of the range, all of them bar the entry level, will have keyless entry. Okay, now keyless entry works basically, I've got the car running so I can't demonstrate it, but basically works where you've got the key in your pocket or in your bag, and you hit this little black button on the door handle. If you've got that, then you've got the keyless entry system. You press that button and the car will beep and it will unlock for you, and it works in reverse. When you close the door, the car will beep once to say it's ready to lock, and when you walk away roughly about 2 meters and the key gets out of range, the car will lock itself for you. You do get the new style Mazda key fob. I'm going to have the same issues with my phone focusing as I do on every single video. I really do like these new key fobs. They're a lot more premium, a lot more chunky, just feel a bit more substantial. And again, if we want to focus Mr. Phone, there we go. You now have the key, the buttons down the side of the key rather than on the face of it. So start from the top quite simply. We've got the lock button, unlock button, press and hold. It should pop your boot. Of course, it doesn't want to work when the ignition's on, as I've got it. And the final button at the bottom here, again, focus, is your alarm inside the car. So if you left a dog or a child in the car while you nipped into the shops to get a pint of milk, you can press and hold this one for a couple of seconds. Your indicators will flash on the car and it will disable the alarm inside the car. So if the thing inside the car wiggled around a little bit, it won't set off the motion alarm. Okay. Again, most models from the Sport upwards will feature the power tailgate. I need to be careful what I say here because some of the range don't have that in anymore, so you need to be careful. Check with your dealer when you're buying it. They have removed some options from the current production schedule due to factory demands. But as you probably saw, you press the little button up there just underneath the Mazda badge, it will pop your boot for you. If you haven't got that feature, you just pull it up manually. And you do have a nice 522 litre boot space. We've got this new cargo system now where you can pull this bit of floor off, and you've got the well where the spare wheel will go if you bought that as an option. Otherwise you've got a little bit of storage space underneath there instead. And it can be a little bit tricky to put back in, so make sure that you slide it in both sides underneath like that so it sits nice and flush. As you can see, the person who was in here before didn't put that one down correctly, so you can almost effectively have two height levels with maybe an inch worth of difference, but as we know, an inch makes a difference. You have fun little handles on the side here to drop your seats down, so I can pull this handle here and my middle seat will flop down, and the same for the two side ones as well. So you do have a, try and work out the maths here, 40, 20, 40 folding split seats here. And as you can tell, I'm recording, so I've got one hand to gesticulate. I can't demonstrate this tannoy cover correctly, but you can pop off these little clips and your tannoy cover will fold away like so, and then you can squeeze it at both sides with both hands and that will actually come out completely. So you can turn your CX-5 into a big van. Actually, before I go back onto the seats around here, your petrol cap is on the left hand side. So there is a little indicator on all cars. If you weren't aware, when you look at the dashboard, it does give you a little arrow pointing to which side your petrol cap's on. So the CX-5 does not yet feature what I call the pushy uni cap. So there is a handle inside that you need to press or pull. So I'll show you where that is now. And in order to close your boot, guys, you've got a little button up here give them a press, and your boot will close. Thought I'd just show you the rear of the vehicle as well. So I'll put the seats back up. You do have enough space in here for 3 adults to sit comfortably. The middle one is what they call, well, what I call a half seat. So yeah, you might struggle with 3 burly blokes in here. But you do get a couple of cup holders in the back in the armrest. You get your little flippy up cover storage here with a couple of USB slots so everyone in the back can charge their phones or their devices. And what a lot of people don't actually know is your rear seats will recline very slightly. It's really difficult to demonstrate on the video, but if you pull, sort of dodgy camera work, if you pull this handle up and push the seat back, it will sit a little bit further back than the rest of them, which just gives you a little bit more of a better sleeping position if you want to have a snooze in the back. And then the way you release it is just pull it back up, let it release, and pop it back in. Right, let's say guys, I am winging this. Inside your car, I'm going to work my way around the cockpit this time. I'm going to mix it up. So on the side here, you know, nothing really super special. You've got your 4 electric windows, 2 for the rear, 2 for the front. This button here, depending on which position you put it in, if it's in the middle, in the rocker position, it will be an automatic. This is for you controlling your wing mirrors. So this is when you lock your car, whether you want the wing mirrors to fold in automatically or whether you want them to stay out or stay closed. I don't know why you'd want them to stay closed. But if you're, for example, wanting to go into a parking space or your garage, for example, and you need to close your wing mirrors, pop that button down and your wing mirrors will fold in. Push it back up to the top, they'll fold out. And what most people want to do is just have it resting in the middle position so that they're all doing it automatically. This button just here is your child lock for the windows. So if you press this one, none of the windows will work in the car besides the driver's button. Press it again and they all work. Finally, on the door, you do have the button here to adjust your wing mirrors. So you twist it to the right side to adjust the right wing mirror, and you wiggle the knob around and it will adjust your wing mirror for you. Same on the left hand side, over that side, and just because I'm a bit OCD, it stays in the middle for me when I'm not using it. If you have one of the entry-level cars which does not feature the electric seats, you will have traditional, pretty standard seats with a handle underneath that you can pull up to move yourself forward and backwards, and you will actually get a lever on this side here to pump yourself up and down to raise and lower the seat, and another handle just back here for your backrest. If you are lucky enough to have electric seats, this is really straightforward. This control here is your main one, and all you're going to do with this is slide it left and right to move your electric seat forward and backwards. You're going to tilt it to go up and down. I'll put it back because I'm going to get in a minute, I've got long legs. And then again this one here, backwards and forwards to adjust your backrest. This button here is lumbar support. Pressing it in or left or right will push this little bit of the seat, the bolster of the seat, into your back or away from your back to give your back more support if you need. And of course you've still got your memory settings seats here. There is a video on the channel on how to set those to the car and also to your key fob. Just down here you have your bonnet release. Okay, so for the front of the bonnet, should you need to get in there, give that a pull, it'll pop the bonnet. There is a catch underneath the bonnet, you just need to slide your hand in, the same with any other car, and flip the lever, it will come up. And then this one here is where your petrol cap is. Again, give that a pull and it will come out, it'll open up the other side. Right then, into the car. So, first of all, we've got a very nice 7-inch TFT display screen here. I always say it in my videos, I love the blend of digital and analog that Mazda give you on their dials. Very clean, very clear, very easy to read. You have your rev counter on the left hand side here. You have your speed in the middle. And you have your engine temperature and petrol gauge down at the bottom. This here is your outside temperature of the car and your MPG gauge. As you're driving, this bar will creep up and creep down depending on how economically you're driving. So the idea is to get that bar as high as you possibly can, guys. And on the right hand side here is effectively your range. So this is 85 miles of range left out of my just under a quarter of a tank of petrol, and 8 miles is the total miles here, as you can see, that the car has actually done. Most Mazdas feature the window projected head-up display, which is one great feature. I've met a lot of customers lately who aren't a big fan of it, to be honest with you, but I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think it's just sometimes getting used to it. Again, there's videos on the channel on how to adjust this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Onto your steering wheel. As usual, we have easy hand controls for your Bluetooth, your radio, and this info button here will cycle between various different screens on the TFT display. So service due, when your service is due on the car. Again, range if you want it a little bit bigger in front of your eyes, probably the most important screen, and back to your dials again, your speedometer again. You do have your trip A and trip B computer if you want to track your individual mileage between destination A and B, and this one here is for your radar cruise control settings. Let's put that back to normal. Right hand side of the steering wheel, this may look very slightly different to the other CX-5s. You've got your speed limiter button in the middle here, your cruise control on the top, and I've completely forgot the name of it. I've messed up the video already. That one I'm going to come back to. It will come back to me later on. That is where your car will follow the car in front of you to maintain a certain speed if you're stuck in traffic. I have been promising you gurus a video on how to do this, how to use this, for probably much since we started the channel a few years ago. I know I need to do it. I will go into a very in-depth video on how to do it on the new CX-5, on the previous models, and also on the CX-30 Mazda 3, because they're all the same, but they're all laid out very slightly differently. But the problem with doing that video is it takes two people to do it. Obviously I can't video while I'm driving and demonstrate the controls, and due to COVID, having someone basically this close to me so you can see exactly what I'm doing wasn't possible for the last few years. So I will promise you I'll get a video done on how to do this. Your left hand sticky thing behind your steering wheel is for your headlights. Okay, so really straightforward. Whatever position this little arrow is facing will tell you what your headlights are doing. So currently they're in the off position. All CX-5s as standard feature the automatic headlight function. I do believe that is variable in other countries. If you leave them in automatic, that is the best position for your headlights. They'll be off during the day and on during the night. You can switch it to your side beams and to your main headlights, and you will get a little green light up here which tells you that your headlights are on. For now I'm going to leave them in the automatic position, which gets rid of that headlight button light. You have a rear fog light here which you can turn on and turn off simply by flicking it. It doesn't stay on, you literally toggle between on and off like so. And indicators, everything is normal in our Mazdas. You can push it all the way up to do an indefinite number of clicks, or you can just give it a little push and it will do 3 clicks for you if you just want to change lanes quickly and let everyone know. You're going to pull the stick towards you to do your main headlights, and you can also push it away from you to put it into automatic main beam. So there's a couple of different features depending on the level of CX-5 spec that you have, but if you push the stick away, your main beam will dip and come on automatically for you at night. In order to use that feature, you must have your headlights set to automatic so that the car knows that you want the headlights to be automatic. Push the stick away. This, in my opinion, is the optimum position to have your headlights in. So make sure you've got them in automatic, push that stick away, leave it where it is, let the car do all the lights for you itself. Okay. Onto the right hand side, these are basically for your windscreen wipers. So twisty knob on the end is your rear wiper. You can twist it down one way to do a spray on the screen on the back, and you'll get some water in a little wipe. It will obviously rest in the off position. You can turn it to be kind of slow wiping intermittently every now and again. That is on and working at the moment. It'll wipe every now and again. And if it's raining quite hard, you can put it onto fast, where it'll be on constantly. They do give you, for ease of access, another way to screen wash again from the bottom, so you've got it on top and bottom, both ends of this, just in case, depending on what setting you've got your wipers on. You can pull the stick towards you to blast your front screen. You'll get nice 3 little wipes there from the front wipers. And then this, a little bit more tricky to explain. I always hate explaining this. So depending, for your front wipers, depending how far you push this stick down to will depend whether your wipers are in the off position, automatic, again, intermediate speed, or fast, okay? Again, optimum position for this, best way to check it, you can push the stick all the way up to the top. So just push it, that will give you just one swipe. That's that little arrow telling you, just clear the screen for me, one wipe. That is now resting in the off position, and you want to click it down 1 into automatic. That will mean your windscreen wipers will come on when it's raining, and they'll be off when it's not raining. And finally, for your wipers, this little ring that you can adjust here will adjust the speed or the sensitivity that your wipers wipe at. So if it's raining a little tiny bit and you don't need them to be on pretty fast, you can leave it on the lowest setting. And as you increase it, this is going to be the fastest setting. So if it's raining quite hard, you want them to obviously automatically wipe as fast as possible. Okay, so again, optimum position for this, in my opinion, is leave this ring on max and push it down 1 into automatic. Let the car do everything itself. You do have the horn smack bang in the middle of the car. Awesome, probably just woke all the neighbours up. It's the middle of the day. Just going back to Bluetooth again on this side and radio, there is a video that we've done on how to connect your phone up by Bluetooth and how these buttons work, so do search the channel for that. Onto the screen, we now have a 10.25 inch non-touchscreen display. A little bit bigger than the previous CX-5 or the previous models in the range, I suppose, but it's a lot better to use, a lot faster, a lot more intuitive, a lot clearer. Everything just feels nicer about this screen, okay? One thing they have done is got rid of the touchscreen element completely, okay? So Mazda's all about safety. We don't want you leaning forward, prodding the screen while you're driving, taking your eyes off the road, so they've eliminated that completely. The way that this screen works, very simply, as with all of our Mazdas, is you have the multimedia commander down here just below your gear stick, which is really simple and straightforward to use. It might take you a few days to get used to it, but once you know how it works, it is so much better than touching the screen when you're driving. This is such a natural position to have your hand in when you're sitting in the driving seat. It is absolutely fantastic. Again, there's another video on our channel on how this all works in a lot more depth, okay? But for basics, if you've just picked up your CX-5 and you just want the basics, okay, you've got shortcut buttons around the big knob, okay? You have the home button in the middle. If you press this with the house on it, it will take you to your home screen or your main menu, okay? You have a shortcut button to your music, to your radio. Give that a press, or whatever source you were listening to previously. And finally, this one that looks like a little arrow is actually a navigation arrow. You give that a press, and guess what? It takes you to your sat nav, okay? Now, this is your main control, okay? This is the big twisty knob. You twist it left and right. You get a nice little click every time you do something, and you push it down to select whatever you're on. So if I wanted to go to the home screen, for example, and I wanted to go to, let's say, my car information, I can go onto that by scrolling up, by twisting the knob a couple of times to the right. It will scroll up to the top, click it down like a mouse, in we go, and I can go into the various different settings in here, okay? If I want to go back a screen, if I've made a mistake or I'm bored of that screen, I want to move, this button here is your return button or your undo button. Give that a press. It will take you back a screen. Give it a press again. It will take you back a screen, and we're back to where we started, okay? Simple as that. That is as much as I'm going to go into today. You do also have this star button here, which is for your favorites. So you can add favorite radio stations, favorite sat nav destinations, home, work, for example, and you can also add favorite contacts from your Bluetooth or mobile device, whoever you've got plugged into your phone. If you call someone constantly or keep going to a destination, this will just save you time by storing things as favorites. And finally, with the radio screen, this is your volume. You can twist it and twist it down for your volume. Okay, simple. And if you click it in, it will mute it for you. So that is now muted, muting a bit of Pitbull on and off. Okay, if you have your phone connected and you're listening to for example, I watch a lot of video or listen to a lot of videos on YouTube while I'm driving, a lot of podcasts online, and this does become a pause button. Okay, so you can push this in, it will pause the video or podcast or whatever you're listening to, and you can press it again and it will bring it back up. Okay, there are again various different ways that you can change your source depending what you're listening to, or switch between Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. Again, these are all covered in other videos, but gurus, leave me some comments in the section below if you would like me to go into any further detail on your new CX-5 screen. Okay, moving down around the car, we've got your air vents. Pretty straightforward. You can adjust these up and down, left and right to the direction of your airflow, and you can turn the air vent off completely or have it open fully. Okay, hazards in the middle, give him a press, all your hazards come on. Moving down into the center here, we have got a nicely laid out dual zone air conditioning unit. Okay, important button on the car to note: if you have the heated steering wheel feature, give that a press and turn it on. Obviously it's very hot today, so today is not the right time to have this on, but this will heat your steering wheel from about this groove here down to this groove here on both sides, so just where your hands are going to be sitting when you're driving, the perfect position for them to be in. Also, you can toggle your buttons. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because I don't want to burn myself. This again, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you guys. You have, this is your master temperature for the car. Okay, so I can turn the whole car up or down to whatever I want it to be. If I didn't want to be in control of both sides of the car, if I had a passenger, for example, who was sitting here with me and was particularly cold and wanted their side to be turned up, they can actually turn their knob all the way up as high as 29 degrees, I think it is, or high, yeah, 29 degrees. And I can keep mine on 16 degrees. So my two air vents either side of the car, or sorry, either side of the steering wheel, will be coming out at 16 degrees, and my passengers two will be coming out at 30 degrees. 29 degrees. You can press the sync button and that will sync both sides back up and put the master control back to the driver's side. You can increase or decrease the fan speed here. You can change the direction of where the fans are going, so face and feet, feet and windscreen, and back to face again. And you can turn your air conditioning basically off, air conditioning on, or air conditioning eco mode. Don't know the difference between them, if I'm honest with you. I've always got mine on AC because I want to be nice and cold. Along the top, we've got the second most important buttons in the car, which are your heated seat buttons. Okay, if you do happen to have a GT Sport, so the top of the range, you will also have another seat button down here, so same symbol, or very similar symbol, but you press them and your lights will come on blue, and that's for your air conditioned cooled front seats. And they're 3-stage setting. My back's getting warm already, where you can just press it once and it'll turn it on to full, press it again down to 2, down to 1 and off, and again the same on the passenger side. Top buttons, you've got a power button for your AC. You can turn them off altogether if you don't want any air coming through your car whatsoever. Press it again to turn it on. And then these two will either suck in the nice cold air from outside, or this one will recirculate the air that you've already got inside the car. Okay, always have it on that one. And finally, this one here is for your front screen. Okay, so this one here will now blast my front screen. All the air vents along the bottom of the windscreen are now turned on, blasting my front screen with hot air. And if you are lucky enough to have one of the models with a wiper de-icer, which is a heated strip that runs down the side, a pillar here of the CX-5 and along the bottom of the windscreen as well, that will turn that on, which will basically heat up your windscreen wipers. So if you've got a frosty front screen, it will heat up your windscreen wipers, so that as they wipe, they're basically dragging the heat across the screen to get rid of the frost a lot quicker. Turn them off. And then this one here, you press that, will demist your rear screen, and it will also heat up your windscreen wipers, your wing mirrors as well. So that is really straightforward. Okay, you've got a 12-volt power socket here if you want to plug things in and charge them. And again, most models, I think, from the Sport upwards will feature a wireless charging pad. Now, at time of recording, and I have been in touch with Mazda about this, because my Mazda Guru sense was tingling with this one, this charging pad at the moment only seems to work, at least here in the UK, for iPhones. My Android phone doesn't seem to charge on it for some reason. Apparently it's compatible, but it won't work. But all you're going to do is pop your device on there. It should start charging automatically, but if not, just hit the power button here. It will flash red at you if it's not working, or green if it is charging. Gear stick, you have 6 forward gears, really straightforward. If you don't know how to drive a manual gear stick, then you'll have an automatic, which again, you should know how to drive if you've got your license. The only one that confuses some people is how to get the car into reverse. Okay, all you have to do, put my foot on the clutch first, is push down, left and up. Okay, and that will, if you do have it again, enable your parking sensors. All of our CX-5s in the UK have front and rear parking sensors, and most of the models do have a reversing camera. There is also an option for 360-degree cameras around the car as well, which this section of the screen will be replaced by a bird's eye view of the car, which will help you wiggle into parking spaces. But if you don't have either of these and you just have the front and rear sensors, you will get a full screen version of that side of the car, effectively, of the screen. Pull it out reverse and you go back to the screen that you're on. Electric parking brake. Okay, this one does confuse a lot of people, but it's actually really straightforward. Again, I'm going to be brief with this because hopefully if I'm really brief it will make sense rather than overcomplicating it. So with a manual handbrake, if you're used to having a manual handbrake, all you'd do is you'd grab it and you pull it up to put your parking brake on. This one is exactly the same, just in a button. You flick it up, that is on. Orange light means on. You get a red P for park on your dashboard. Simple, on. Okay, it works in reverse to take it off. So with a manual you'd push it down to take it off. This one you push it down as well. Okay, now if you're stuck and it's not coming off and you're thinking, why is it not coming off, why is my handbrake not coming off, you need to have your foot on the brake to tell the car, hey, I'm in control of you. If I take the handbrake off, I'm holding you on the foot brake. So I've got my foot on the brake now and my handbrake is off. Okay, so simple, on, off. Okay, simple. Now there is a button underneath which says auto hold. Okay, what auto hold will do, again, I'll try and be brief so it kind of makes sense and sticks in. You do need to have all of your doors closed and your driving side seatbelt plugged in to enable this feature. I currently don't have my seatbelt on, so it's not going to work. Give it a press and that orange light will stay on. If you haven't done your starting procedure correctly, like I haven't, it will just flash at you. But what auto hold will do effectively is if you come to a stop at a set of traffic lights or a junction and there's traffic in front of you, you can either just hold yourself on the foot brake like you would normally in a normal car, or you can put your handbrake on, 2 ways to stop, or you can have your auto hold feature on. What that basically has done is you've told the car that when you've come to a stop, complete stop with your foot brake, you want the car to automatically hold you in place. Okay, so it effectively puts the brakes on for you, so you can take your feet off the pedals, have a little rest until everyone moves in front of you, and then all you're going to do, another little shortcut for you, put the car into first, do your gas and bite, and again, as long as you've got your seatbelt plugged in, the handbrake will release itself for you automatically. Your auto hold feature will let you go and you can carry on driving. This is a really useful feature. Again, once you get used to how an electric parking brake works, and in conjunction with auto hold, you don't actually ever have to touch this handbrake at all during your journey, except for when you get to the very end and you turn your car off to say goodnight. You just need to flick your parking brake on, because at the moment the handbrake does not come on automatically when you can't turn your car off. Which leads me on to this, probably the most important bit on the car actually, which I've completely forgotten to mention, which I should have done at the start, is how to start your car. So again, all of our Mazdas are keyless, as long as you have got that key fob inside the car somewhere. If you've got a manual, you put your foot down on the brake and you press the start button, it will go green. In fact, I'll demonstrate. So key fob in the car, I put my foot down on the brake, hit my start button, and the car's all fired up. As you've just seen the way you stop the car, feet off the pedals, hit the start button again, or the stop button now, and the car is all off. Okay, it all shuts down. Cool. In your glove box, you should have your owner's manual. I'm not going to bother getting it out, guys, but you've got your owner's manual with everything you need to know about the car that's in there, okay? Obviously our Mazda Gurus videos are a heck of a lot better than this, so please check out our channel for other videos on how to do things. But you do also have the Mazda Assistance breakdown cover number and Mazda First details in there, so that's really useful to make sure you've got them in there just in case you get stuck. One other feature, actually, you know what, while we're on the controls of the car, one of the little useful feature on our information section on the screen here, is our vehicle status monitor. So you can, sorry, I've got confused then. You can make sure that your car is all set in conjunction with the servicing schedule in your book to make sure that your Mazda, again, at least in the UK, I think it's the same worldwide, is set for 12 months until it needs its next service, or 12,500 miles, whichever one comes sooner. Okay, again, there is a video on our channel on how to set all this correctly. As you can see, with my new car, it shouldn't be due a service for 12,500 miles or until, well, roughly, I think this car arrived with us about in May's time. So yeah, that's out slightly, very slightly, quite a lot. But again, make sure that's all set and up to date. What else do we need to tell you guys about? Inside here, in your cubby hole, you've got a little tray. You can take them out, flick them away. Don't know what it's for. You've got another 12-volt charger. Okay. You've got the SD card in here, which makes your sat-nav work. That can be updated. The new CX-5 comes with 5 years free map updates, so make sure you update your maps. Mazda should send you an email when you do an update. And then these two USB slots here are both Android and Apple CarPlay enabled, so you can plug your phone in to these USB slots and it will display your phone screen, or your apps at least, that are compatible on the screen, so you can use things like Spotify, WhatsApp, Google Maps, Waze, all those kind of things while you're driving, again, all using the rotary knob here. They do give you this little storage tray. I think it's just to put pennies and things in, or a pen, or just junk really. And you can fold them away, and you've got a couple of cup holders here as well. I've probably missed out loads. It's been a little while since I've done one of these handover videos. So again, if I've missed anything super important, guys, please let me know in the comment section below. Or do get in touch with us here or your local dealer. I hope that's been useful for a lot of you. Again, thank you very much for your time. Get yourselves down and have a look at the new CX-5. Its new front and rear grille just give it so much presence on the road, which I thought was impossible to improve on from the previous model, but Mazda have achieved it again. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Can't wait to see you on the next video. Guru Tom out. Have a good night.